Teaching them and educating them. That's the main thing. Yeah. Hello, Catherine. How you doing today?
Good morning. Bonjour tout le monde. I'm doing
Right?
awesome.
It's you and me so far. Looks like there's about 14 of us on the chat area that I've got going. We're gonna have some fun today. I'm gonna be leading this fantastic bunch and going from there. I know Pete's got a family engagement and stuff he's at. I think Mitch has got something he's got at. I know Cameron's going to be coming in hot. We're going to be talking about the AI and how to use some of this stuff, and that's kind of where we were at. This is going to be fun. And hold on a second, I'm looking for what the topic was going to be exactly. There you go.
Morning.
What's
Good
going
morning.
on, Maddie?
Talking about AI, I think is the plan,
Oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah, coming in hot.
So, Craig, I will not be someone who can really give any awesome input on AI. I'm going to be listening and learning.
There you go.
Me too.
All right, so I got Catherine who's going to be learning. We got
Yeah.
Maddie who's always going to be Maddie Battiata. There's only going to be a handful of us on here, I think, this week. But this
I
is
think Cameron's the guy. Hopefully he's going to be here.
oh yeah, no, camera's on. Him and I already got it going. We got everybody coming in. I know Philly's coming in hot. We got double San Diego, so we got East Coast, West Coast. We got some in between. We're going to make it work.
How's the
All
weather?
right, we're at 1 minute behind. We're waiting. Good morning, everybody. Oh, Sam's coming in from Boston. Glenn, welcome, Glenn. Hopefully, it's not the last time you're on here. Be on here more often. Every Thursday, we call it the $1 Billion Fire Up Club. You know, a lot of information. Hey, Glenn, invite some of your friends. Share the link. I know for you and me, it's lunchtime. For Maddie and those guys, it's breakfast time. Maddie's probably just coming in off a surfboard. And we got Gary Massa. I am not going to do any tortilla jokes, Massa.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I actually bought the company just so Pete would leave me alone.
There you go. Knowing
Just
you,
kidding.
you're probably dead. All right. So Pete likes to pick on everybody there. And if Bobby comes in, I swear to God, I'm not going to mention his hair. Or is anybody, if you want me to mention Bobby's hair, put it in down below on the chat. It means I know you're listening. And if not, we're just going to blow over and he's not going to know what he's missing. He's going to think he's hurt. So, okay, real quick while we're waiting for everybody else to come in. Let's do something different. Catherine, what's your biggest win of the week?
So
Short and sweet. We're going to keep them going.
Okay. So I feel my biggest win is that I got a owner who has his $8 million listing listed with the Oppenheim Group. And he is letting me go to his property and shoot some reels. So I'm going to hire models and I'm going to be in the middle of these gorgeous people acting like I am the shit. And I will,
the shit.
and I will, really use that for my social media. And I'm kind of working on different things I could do, which with this AI today, I'm sure I'm going to get some tips, but I want to use 4 hours with my awesome photographer, videographer to just do different reels or interview, or let's see what I can come up with the next 4 days. But I'm very excited about that.
Good for you. Congratulations. That's great. Massa, what's going on with you? Other than I think next month's your birthday, right?
The end of this month.
End of this month. All right, I'm close. Going to
Very
cop.
close. I would say the biggest win for this week, it's been a lot of activity going on the last couple of weeks, but we listed a new listing last week. I thought that we had kind of like pushed the upper limits of the listing price. And we ended up getting 3 offers on the property. We had probably over 20 showings by the time, even by the time that we had the open houses on the weekend. All the offers came in well over list price, and we accepted one that's nearly 100 grand over, and 2 of them were like, pretty neck and neck. So it was fun to get to negotiate multiple offers again with people that were motivated, for the house. That was great to see, and got another buyer offer accepted. I've been working on for, probably 2 months, 3 months now that I met at an open house. So just starting to, biggest wins I think is watching transactions start to come together as the market's starting to ramp up here.
Following through on your DPAs, your daily productive activities that ultimately start paying. Remember, what you're doing today is going to start showing up 45 to 90 days from now.
That's right.
We've hit the phone hards and we're going hard. Cameron, what we're asking for, what I asked everybody is what is a huge win? What was the best win for them for the week? I'll come to you and then we're going to start somewhere along the line. Maddie, where are you at? What was a big win for you?
We got a new listing into escrow with same thing with multiple offers this past weekend, and we're going to list the buyer's home. They're non-contingent, but they do need to sell a house, so we're going to list their house today. And then we've got a downtown condo that also was the buyer on one of our listings downtown. That was a downtown condo that had another downtown condo. He bought one for $3.450, and which was our through us, and now we're going to list his condo downtown. So that's the highlights of this week.
That's fantastic. Question: the listings you guys had, how long were they on the market? Did you have to reposition them in price to get these new offers, or were they just right out of the bat? Right out of, not mean batty at it, but I mean right out of the gun.
My listing we sold in one weekend. We
One weekend,
we put it on the market a week ahead of time, and then we did an open house on Saturday, and we got 3 offers.
There you go. Gary?
Yes, same. We put it on the market on Tuesday and we got our offers in by Monday and had it under contract. I mean, it was Wednesday morning, first thing Wednesday morning, but I mean, we probably could have accepted it all on Tuesday. So I'd say 7 days.
All right. So it sounds like if you're pricing them right out of the gun and they're right, they're going to go. And if not, you got to do some major repositioning. Cameron, big win for the week.
Big win for the week. So this week I have a pretty big listing down on the Gulf Ocean front. It's like 2.6. We have a couple neighbors around it. Obviously selling a $2.5 million lot right now, especially in an area that was kind of devastated here just a year ago. It's been pretty challenging. So what I've been working on is trying to package the lots together. And this week I've actually been able to get it a hold of, and I've got confirmation from all the different owners for 5 different lots that it's enough now that we can build. We could build like a 60 or 70 unit building on it. So that's going to open up a lot of opportunities. That was a huge win, just getting a hold of everyone. It was a real challenge because obviously a lot of people don't live here. Sadly, there's trailers down there where, people stay when they come down instead of staying at their house. They have, like little travel trailers. But, through hard work, lots of consistent follow-up, they actually had a couple people reach out to me and they were able to connect me with the neighbors. And like I said, everyone is open to the idea of packaging it together. So now I'm able to go forward and start presenting that to some of our investors, which I think could actually become a sale. I think that's going to be a little bit easier than trying to sell just an individual lot. So I'm excited about that.
All right. Getting out of the box, doing something different. Hey, David, the question is keep it short and sweet, a big win that you had this week.
Big win. We just went through 2 trainings. One was, believe it or not, how to get multiple offers accepted. And the one that we just finished 1 minute ago was, if you're working with a buyer, what is the entire process? So what I'm doing is, in the coaching, I've gone from one-on-one to one-on-many, just like we're doing right here, right? This is 50 people learning from other people, right? So, and we've hired a bunch of agents recently, and we just go through the whole process of, how to find out, this is our buyer's guide, right?
So the win out of that came from what? Getting the more, instead of doing one-on-ones, going to the group and getting everybody involved. What was the win?
Yeah, and we're just teaching everybody at once. And we have raised the conversion level with our buyers agents and anybody on our team with buyers significantly by doing this. So, and we're putting, it's the 13th, and I think, we sold like 15 homes so far this month.
Great. going back to exactly what David was saying there, I always say DPAs, daily productive activities, and we always discuss that. What you're doing today is always going to move forward. For those of you in EXP, and if you're not, it's okay. It's all good. But if you're in EXP, whether you're experienced or not, get into that FastCap class. If you're 1 to 3 years in this business, especially, you want to get into the FastCap class that EXP has, that's offered out there. It's a 6-week class. I think you're allowed to miss 3, and there's 3 1-hour meetings a week plus some other stuff, and it is fantastic. It will absolutely up your sales. I think the conversion ratio is like 6.8 deals or something like that, or whatever in 90 days, from going of an average agent of 3.6 across the country, not EXP agents. I know ours are 5.6, but it's there. So if you're looking for a fast start, look for what it is. It's called FastCap. Get into there. So, all right. So we have a bunch of people. I've been asked to, I'm going to moderate this week. We're going to end it with a little fun like we always do. We're talking about AI. I know Catherine's here. She's going to be taking a lot of notes. I'm going to be doing a lot of notes and learning more also as we go about. I know Cameron's got a hell of a lot of information. Does anybody want to jump in on AI, on some of their stuff before I know Cameron's going to light it up? I want to give a little teaser. Anybody, or are we just going, we're going this way? We're going all Cam?
Start with Cameron, yeah.
All right. So Cameron, you got the drum. We're going at it. Bring it in hot, and then we're all going to jump on. You probably get bombarded with questions. Everybody, if you have questions, please put them in the box. We'll go from there. And look forward to hearing you. Let's go, Cam. And by the way, panelists, remember, when you're making a comment, make sure you hit everyone. All right? All right, mute if you're off.
All right, let me see. You guys can hear me good? Cool. Good morning, everybody. So AI in real estate, AI in general. One thing I will say, just getting started, is that it is progressing and evolving really fast, as in like daily. Believe it or not, I mean, we have updates coming to all of the different large language models, which is what most people think of when they think of AI today, which is just like ChatGPT, which is incredible. It's something that has changed the world. It's changed how a lot of people are doing business. But real estate agents, obviously, we don't really need it in our business because we are contact focused. We are reaching out to people directly. With that said, there's a million things that you can use AI in your business to streamline your day, to save you time, to give you back your life. I know if you're like me, you work 7 days a week and you're always having something that you can do. So using these tools are allowing you to streamline some of that, to shorten that. And there's a few that I really wanted to share with you. With all of that said, the biggest thing to remember is that AI is not perfect, okay? If you're going to use AI in any form, you need to physically verify it. Now, that's okay because it's going to save you hours and hours and hours on doing all types of things, but you still need to spend 15, 20, 30 minutes on verifying the info, making sure it's spelled correctly, as well making sure it's personal, because a computer can't do that. And that's the great part. That's the part that is reassuring to everyone, is that it's not going to take over our jobs, because we are relationship focused. We are personal focused. We are about building that, that rapport with people, to let them know that we have their best interest. And AI can't do that. AI can spit out good words and it can make it, seem human, at least right now. So the great part is that we are still very vital, and like pretty much everyone that's in the tech space says, there has to still be a human in the loop. So AI can do amazing things. We're going to go through that, but just remember that no matter what you're using, the tools you're using, you have to be verifying them to make sure that everything's correct. So some of the things that we're using every single day now is, we have our CRM systems. A lot of the CRM systems that agents are using or provided do have AI built into them. One system, though, that has really stood out, and a lot of teams are using it, I know it's been promoted on this call a few times, is Fellow. Fellow is an AI system that is just a follow-up system that digs into your database and reaches out to the people that haven't been reached out to. It touches them, and it just stays in front of them more often. So that's a system that I have been promoting. A lot of the big teams are using it, and they're having a lot of success with it. But that is based on AI. And we're going to go through all different kinds of AI here, because there's, it's crazy. You have AI for everything. Obviously, it's the hottest topic. One of the other things that we're using, obviously, is for video editing. This is something that I think Craig brought up last week with Opus Clips. This is something that's incredible, you guys. If you are doing social media and you are building out videos for neighborhoods, or you're doing community vendors, or whatever you can be highlighting in your neighborhood or your community to make you that expert, as well as just building out content, because the key is really consistent quality content. But while you're doing that, you're able to break that down typically. And the challenge with, doing quality social media is you need a darn team to be working with you. You need 3, 4, 5 editors and filmers, and, it's overwhelming. And it's something that real estate agents, in my opinion, shouldn't be spending the majority of their time doing, because that's not going to be the highest producing money-making activity. With that said, you can see people like, what's his name? He was on the Manhattan show, Ryan Serhant. He has built out a huge brand, and people from the world know this guy, not only just because he was on TV, but he's went farther than that. And he does have people showcasing him and making him look bigger than the world, so that when people think of, the realtor guy on TV, they think of him. And you're able to do the exact same thing with social media. But the challenge is you don't want to have 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 people working for you just to do this. So AI is able to streamline that for you. Opus Clips, like Craig was saying, is one of, in my opinion, the best tools currently on the market for video editing. Go ahead, Craig. Go jump in.
I'll
Yeah,
add
buddy.
something in it real quick.
Cool,
I
of
was
course.
just looking down at my stuff. In the past 2 weeks, and then again, we've been working this Opus Clips, and we're really focused on it. It actually gauges what ones you should post and not. We just got a 99%er, which we're going to be putting out. My accounts more interaction. 12,900 views in 1 week. Jump. That's a 67% increase. Just this week over last week, which was also a 50% growth. So this is just from using that Opus Clips that you have talked about, Cameron, which I think is $9.50 or under $10 now to use. That'll help take your videos and use it and caption it. So I just wanted to give a statistical number of what it's doing that I'm proving from what Cameron talked about. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to add a statistic.
Well, and we all know third party proof is right. That's where the proof is in the pudding. And it's true that the system works. I use it every day. Anyone that's trying to do content and do it efficiently, without spending the big bucks. Now, if you want to spend the big bucks, go for it. But these tools are allowing us to be competitive with, Ryan Serhant's. To be honest, my accounts and some platforms outperform Ryan Serhant's, because you're using the tools, you're staying consistent. And when you're paying someone, they're not going to do that. They just want to do their 4 videos a day, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. So anyways, with tools like Opus Clips, it's absolutely fantastic. It's very inexpensive. It rates the clips. It it tells you how to use them. You can also edit them, put B-roll in, lots of stuff you can do. But it's mostly AI focused, being that it automatically does it for you. I absolutely love that. The other tool that everyone should be using, and this is social media, but it's also not social media. You can actually use this tool for market updates. You can use this for newsletter posts. You can really make content for everything. And this is a tool called Captions, okay? Captions has inside it now, and this is something new, and they're working on it. It's getting a lot better than it was here 6 months ago. But they've introduced something that they're calling an AI twin, okay? AI twin is exactly what it sounds like. Is you take a video, you speak into it, you tell it how to do, it copies your face, and then you will make a prompt or a chat. You'll ask it to say something, and it will use that face in that video of you to make a video. Now, it's getting a lot better. It, to me, looks almost to the point where you can use it. You can't use it for a 10-minute video or something like that, but for a 2-minute market update where you didn't want to jump in front of the camera, or if you're trying to just do something quickly and easily, the Captions is able to do that. The other AI tool that Captions has that's really something that I use all the time, because we're doing a lot of courses with our next gen group, is the AI eye tracking. So AI eye tracking is something that it's for anyone that's done video. I know, Matt, you've done a lot of TV stuff, so you've probably had to read off scripts or memorize the scripts, which can be tough. I mean, that's how movie actors do it. We don't appreciate those guys because we think, playing a part's easy. But when you realize you have to memorize 5, 7, 10 minutes of dialogue, it's almost impossible for most people. So being able to have a script either on a TV or even on the monitor in front of you, you can read off the script, use their AI eye tracking. Is it perfect? No. But 99% of the time, it looks fantastic totally usable. And we use it for all of our courses. That way I'm able to do the courses in one take versus, 20, 30, 40 takes, because that's really what it takes to try to be absolutely perfect through a, 7, 10, 15-minute discussion. So absolutely love the eye tracking on captions. If you're doing content for that, it works really well. The other one, so going along that same line, so say you're trying to build content and you're using maybe an AI twin, or maybe you're using B-roll, or you're just trying to do something with a community outreach. Maybe we went to a restaurant, you talked with the owner, and you said, hey, I'd love to promote you on my social media channel. Would you mind that? And of course he goes, no, I'd love that. That'd be great. Do you mind if I leave a business cards here? Or do you mind if I leave some? No, that'd be great. Do that, and you're able to start networking. When you do your video there, maybe you weren't able to say everything that you wanted to say. Maybe, you missed out on some things when you're doing the video because it's tough. It's, unless you have the whole video planned and you go out and you kind of just, just wing it, so to speak, you will miss things that you need to say. One of the best tools we're using right now to do what's called AI voiceovers. Again, you just type in what you want it to say and it brings you a lifelike voice. And this stuff it's kind of getting creepy because you can start believing that it's a real person. But we're using a company called 11 Labs for that. And they're the industry leaders right now because their voices sound so real. I believe that they're actually going to transition into AI voice agents, because you don't know that they're not you, or you don't know that they're not a real person. They're pausing, they're speaking faster, they have upswings, they have downswings. Really cool stuff there is that you're able to put in voiceovers, you're able to make it sound real without doing 8, 10, 15 outtakes, then putting it all in editing and then exporting it, which takes 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 15. This takes, one video can take you, if you're doing voiceovers, if you're doing B-roll, if you're doing eye tracking, it literally will take you all day. And we can't do that, you guys. We have to be productive agents. We have to be doing the things that we know make us money. So you can spend some time on this and then let these tools do it for you. And you're able to save yourself 3, 4, 5 hours a day on just one, 10-minute clip, which that's the secret to using the right tools. The other AI tool that I wanted to bring up, and I know we got a bunch of speakers.
Before we go to another, let's
go ahead,
bring
Greg.
up where we're at. You're doing a machine gun, which is awesome. Love it.
I have a whole list, just so you know, too. I have a list that I can put in the chat. That way everyone can follow along, because there's no way I could just drop all this off. With all the links, you got it.
Which is number one. Number two, you're going to put your social media in here also.
Absolutely. Sure thing.
So everybody can follow you and like you and all that stuff. All right.
Absolutely.
And by the way, if any of you want to follow any of us, we can all try to follow each other. But if you want, Cameron's going to do it, because I know Patsy was asking for an example of the videos. All you got to do is go on with social media. You're going to have tons and tons and tons. And we're going to get the list. Matt, you had a question.
I had a comment, which was the other cool thing you can do with 11 Labs is you can read your own voice into it, and then it'll duplicate your voice. You can just put in the script. It'll do an entire thing, and it sounds really very much like you. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Really?
It mimics,
it duplicates your own voice, and then you just put in a script and it'll do the whole thing, and it sounds like you.
And are you using it also, Matty?
I'm playing around with it. Yeah.
What's the cost on that, Cameron? Just so anybody can see. What's the cost for 11?
It's a subscription. It's pretty cheap, isn't it, Cameron?
They're all
$10 a month or something.
Yeah, I think it's $5 a month, maybe $11, something like that. They're all subscriptions because they want to get you in, but they're cheap.
They're inexpensive. Okay, cool. Brian, did you want to say something? Because I saw you.
I had a question for Cameron. I want to know if the real Cameron is actually out playing golf or on the beach, and if this was a demonstration of how well it recreated Cameron.
Yeah. That's you joke, you guys, and it won't. I don't think that's going to happen, but we're almost there with captions like AI Twin, right? We are to the point where for 3 minutes I could fool you. Now, for 30 minutes I couldn't fool you. What's really, I think, going to change our follow-up here, and I think it's going to be about probably 12 months away, because with 11 Labs, like Maddie was saying, you don't know it's not a person, and you can use your own voice, you can duplicate your own voice. But I do believe here in about 12 months, you're going to be receiving phone calls from people and you're going to answer, if you guys answer your phones, but you're going to answer, right? And it's going to be like, hey, Randy, it's Cam. And you're going to be like, hey, Cam, how are you? But it's not going to be Cam. Now, will it stutter and make mistakes? Probably. But let's be honest, when we're talking on our cell phone, we fade out all the time. You know, and that's the advantage that I think these kind of AI follow-up systems are going to have. They're not there yet. I have tested every single one that's a voice agent, because as soon as that happens, and as soon as we have a usable voice agent that can reach out to past, or maybe not past clients, that'd be pretty in personal, but they can reach out to cold leads. They can reach out to people that haven't been followed up with, very friendly. And the worst thing that happens is they get hung up on, which is not a big deal because they're just a colder lead or someone in your database. So I think those are big. The last AI tool I wanted to get into, because I want to make sure everyone has time here, I've spent a lot of time talking about this stuff, is a chat bot. So this you can put onto your website. You can put this on Facebook. You can put this on a Facebook group. And what it does is it responds in a way, again, that's very lifelike, that gets questions answered, or it can even give information about your organization, your team, your business. And that chat bot is called ManyChat. So that is one of those programs.
What is that,
ManyChat, yeah. Now, just so you guys know, I just put in the chat the PDF there that has all the links. And it's ManyChat. What ManyChat does, like I said, is you can put their chat bot into your Facebook group. You can put it into your business Facebook. You can put it on your website. It is a do-it-all kind of chat bot that you're able to give information to, and it can answer it like a professional, or it can answer it in a way that can get the information that you want. We're using it through our Facebook groups for people that want to learn more about the coaching. They can ask questions, but it's again, unlimited kind of possibilities with it when you build it out. Just again, if you guys have a Facebook group, or you're doing social media, or you're doing groups, you'll find, and it's not a bad thing, but you find that the admin duties and just replying to comments, or accepting people in, or just replying to the messages, it can take hours, and it literally can overwhelm you. And that is the challenge when you start branching out from just doing one lead generation, is you got to really make sure that you're scheduling your time, and you have to make sure that social media takes some time, follow up takes some time, and you go through each thing and you have it very scheduled. That way you don't let replying to just random Facebook messages take up 2.5 hours of your day, right? But those are my favorite tools right now, you guys. And I'm always
they're listed on the PDF, right?
I have it all in the PDF, and it's in the chat there. There's no links. The links are on the second page, you guys. If you go there, it has all of the different links. You just click on them. They're for Fellow, Captions, Opus, 11 Labs, ManyChat. And then I also included Popl in there. That's not really AI, but that's a tool that, shoot, if you're not using Popl for your social media stuff, it's a lead capture. So you can capture leads from Instagram and TikTok and all of that, which once you have the lead, then you can follow up with them, and then the ball starts rolling.
Cameron, post that again. Some people were saying they didn't see it in the chat. So,
okay, I'll post it one more time. No problem.
Yeah, if you can, that'd be great. All right, Bobby, I'm not going where Pete goes. We're not discussing where we go with Masa today. So you're on safe zone. So here's the deal. We were talking about AI. We were letting Cameron go. A lot of us were sucking up information, and no's okay. Are you using AI a lot in your business?
I am, but it's not replacing me. It's enhancing me and allowing me to do the things that I want to do faster. So I think that's really what AI is for. It's not necessarily to replace us. I don't love the idea of AI bots calling. And I actually got a call last week. I did a post about it, and every single friend was like, dude, do not, hire these people to call people. Like, everybody was dead set against it. So I don't think it's going to be something, at least for our generation, which I'm X-Gen. It might be something that the much younger kids, they might be open to it at some point. Especially if it makes it easier than talking to a real person, because let's face it, sometimes real people, like, I call people to get shit done, and you're like, what the hell? This person is like taking their sweet time. I just need to get in and out. So there's going to be some purposes for it, but I don't think AI replaces us, because we are the relationship. It's kind of it's kind of hard to have a good relationship with an AI bot. ManyChat, been using that for like 10 years. Sammy Backey, who's been on this show, he actually put it into my system like over a decade ago. It's okay. I haven't really looked at it lately, so I'm sure it needs to be, kind of spruced up a little bit. But again, I don't think this stuff replaces us. The quicker we can get in on the conversation is really what I think is more important than anything. So if you see a conversation going, like that needs to then get assigned to an agent if you're not available, and that agent should be all over them, providing them with different options. Again, it's just about building the relationship, but it's also how you approach that person. If you approach them as, hey, you're buying a house in the next 90 days, you're not going to get them. You're going to have to look at them as a long-term thing. Hey, I'm just here to provide you with info and knowledge. Do you have an agent that you love and trust? You don't? Great. Well, if you're buying a home, the rules have changed. You have to select your agent now. So have you interviewed people? Nope, I haven't. So great, let's do that. So, let's stick to the basic, guys. I mean, I see a lot of people spending a lot of time on AI, and they're, like I even did it myself. I started doing all these courses, and I started doing a bunch of different stuff. And I was like, man, I'm not getting good at any of this. I'm not becoming a master except for ChatGPT, where I'm using chat as an extension of my brain. Whatever my brain starts thinking of, I then say, well, let me go see, let me go do a little research, bam, bam, bam. And so I'm really good at prompting the questions to get the output that I'm actually looking for. Then you can use that. Now, there's no substitute for laziness, though. I am lazy, which is why I'm not spitting out a shit ton of content every week. I am not focused on putting out the content, and which is the reason is schedule. You got to have it in your schedule. So I've actually been revamping. Yesterday, I spent 2 hours just like literally looking at my schedule and scheduling in all of the time that I need for the things that I need to do, including some of the content stuff, learning more about the AI. I mean, obviously this isn't going anywhere. And for the agents that don't adopt some of it, you're going to get left behind unless you are just incredible at the relationships, so you got to pick your poison. What do you want to be good at? Door knocking? You want to be good at AI? You want to be good at, predictive analytics, which is, I think, probably the best thing for AI, I think, is going to help real estate agents. So the big box companies like Zillow and all these guys, they obviously have predictive analytics on who's going to buy a house because of visits to their website. So learning about that kind of stuff and trying to get that data, I think, is probably a good, something that we should be doing. So that's all I got.
I'm going to throw some here. ChatGPT can actually drive you crazy. How many people have not just be waking up in the middle of the night saying, how do I solve this problem? Putting it in ChatGPT. I found out something today. It's called Home Design AI. I was thinking, how can I get a room done without having to pay? You can get a subscription, put the picture in, and it'll redesign the room. Some of it with colors, furniture, and all that stuff, of dimensions of some of the floor plans. Even new construction, it isn't built. And I was like saying, how can I do this? It's crazy. It's all in AI, but it can overtake you. So you want to minimize the time you're using, like Bobby said. But here's the key also. This is a key. This is a nugget of what Bobby said. He doesn't even know he said it. If you're not working on your business and you're constantly in your business, you can't grow your business. So allocate. Here's a question for you, Catherine. How much time, and if you don't do it now, admit it. How much time do you spend a week working on your business, at least? Not in it, not with buyers, sellers, on it, saying, how do I make it better? Catherine, I'm going you first. Catherine, unmute. No? You froze? I think, all right, she's not hearing me. Gary, how much time do you spend a week working on your business?
I'd say 3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 hours. Brian, how many hours a week? Unmute.
I am back, by the way.
Hold on,
Go ahead,
Catherine. Give me a second. Brian, go.
I less than 3 hours a week right now. You know, it sounds great. I'm carrying over 5 million in inventory, but it's 2 listings. You know,
right.
it's like,
As Maddie says, don't follow the money, follow the deals.
yeah.
There you go. Catherine, how many hours a week do you spend working on your business, not in your business?
4 hours, maybe, that's it.
4. So we got 3 to 4. It seems to be 3 to 4. Cameron.
I spend a lot of time. I'm probably 2 hours a day working on the business and growing it because I'm also doing a lot of things outside of the sales side. But that's mainly what I'm focused on. But again, you guys, everyone's different in when they're, where they are in their business. And I think, depending on where you are, you can focus more on lead generation or business management. But it is important, like Bobby was saying, is keep that schedule on tack.
Dave, how much time do you spend a week?
10 hours.
Maddie.
I'd say 10 also.
Bobby.
Probably about 8.
All right. I'm in that 4 to 5. I'm trying to do an hour a day of doing that. So everybody, it depends on the level where you're at and how you're averaging yourself to another point. You should be spending at least 1 hour a week on your business of how to make it better and 1 hour a week on your business expenses of what's working, what's not, how do I cut it, and what am I going to add into my next 90 days of investments. Learn not to knee jerk. People are really good at spending your money and distracting you with sparkly things. Stay the course, stay where you're at, especially with the AI. I'm seeing a ton of this coming down the line. Cameron.
One thing that I wanted to say with what Bobby was saying, and he's totally right, is that that's not going to take over. A lot of people won't like it. With that said, though, you guys, how many of you guys would rather go through self-checkout than a normal line? Now, I know personally, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. With that said, though, there's a lot of times that I would love to be able to quickly get an answer to something, especially if you have something that's set up that provides good information, that's reliable, that they can just ask a quick question to, and bam, now they know the answer. Much easier than, standing in line, waiting for that phone call. And then, hey, man, you're busy. It happens. You didn't get the call. So now you got to call them back. And something that could have been answered really quickly now takes multiple people's time for a lot longer. So absolutely right that it will not take over. There's no way. But if it's used properly, it can streamline the process and it can even provide more value, right? You got to do it correctly. But if you're able to provide more value, you are the go-to guy. You're the smart guy. You're the techie. You're the person that people want to work with. And I push that stuff up, you guys. When I go on listing presentations, I look young, obviously. I am young, I guess. But I'm the young guy. I'm tech. I got all the AI stuff working for me. I bring out my iPad. So I got stuff. And if that's something I push, that is the reason that a lot of people want to hire me, is because I have stuff that other people don't. Now, whether that truly brings in the buyer that buys their home, that's all marketing, right? But when you're at the listing presentation and you're able to list those things, you're able to be the one chosen. And that's something to keep in mind, is a lot of these systems too are put in place just to have more arrows in your quiver. That way you can go out and really be confident and be the one that they choose to list or work with when they buy or sell.
For those that don't know what a quiver is, the ROG learned it through Cameron. It's the thing that holds your arrow. You just go, boom. Right, Cameron? See, we've learned that in this group. All right. So, and that's coming from a Philly boy who, I shoot guns. I just don't hunt animals. I feel bad. So, all right, so let's go on to something. I want to, we just shoot people in Philly. We just don't shoot animals.
Yeah.
So, all right. I'm not sure whether this is AI, but I want to add something into that. I was on a really, how many of you guys, are any of you guys premier agents with homes.com? Nobody? David is, I am. Let me tell you something. There's some really cool tools that they just put into that thing. Is there? It can actually, and I'm believing it's their AI that's doing it. And that's why I love it. And it's an added benefit. It's not additional cost. You can literally take your whole email list. It has to be over 500 people. Our biggest concern when we're reaching out to people is what? Getting spam, right? So in that spam bit, what has happened is they said, give us your list. We put it in. And when you list a property, you can attach a list to it. It then goes out into the world of them, of every person's email. When it's out with everybody's email, you have a problem in that the system is not following on a spam, it's just going to their screen. So every time they go onto a screen looking whatever, this house pops up, or every one of your listings and your name pops up. So every past client, anybody that touches you while you have that listing, you're popping up in front of them. And it's also populating what websites they go to. And by going through those websites, you're now able to go to sellers saying, look at all the websites we're hitting through people. So it's not a personal AI. It's just if you're using homes.com, their AI is now pushing even one farther that you can't do because it's going through them and they're not getting hit with spam.
What's that costing you?
Well, every area is different, depends on your stuff. I know some agents in my area, their production are paying $400 a month for the Premier. I think I pay $750. I'm going to put Greg's email, my guy in here down below, email and say, hey, I was on a call with Craig and stuff like that. And just see what it is. All
This is
depends on the
very,
levels.
yeah, this is very new to
Very
homes.com. And some of the people are saying, man, I don't know if I want to give them my email list. So that's been one of the issues. And we haven't decided right yet if we're going to do that. But we do use Fellow, and Fellow does some of the same kinds of things. Not quite exactly the same, but they do it as well.
Are you getting any closings from Fellow?
We're getting listings.
No closings yet?
Well, to be honest with you, Bobby, we started implementing it in January,
January. Okay.
and we also have changed from Boomtown to Follow Up Boss. And we did that because Zillow is kind of requiring it for the Premier or for the Flex partners.
They would do that.
So what they bought it, but I can't believe how good Follow Up Boss is. I mean, I know that it used to be good, but when Zillow bought it and they added another 160 engineers and things are changing so fast. But all I'm saying is that when Drew, my son is my tech guy. He came from Tech MD in Orange County, and I got him after many, many years to work on the team. And he's implementing things, he's implementing all this stuff, but we are now getting the reports of, I mean, I'm going on a listing appointment next week on a $4.5 million house. And it's because one of my old clients that I sold a lot to him about 15 years ago, he built a house and then he went on line and he went to go get the home valuation, and I called him and he's like, yeah, hey man, your timing is perfect. I can't believe you just called me. We're thinking of selling our house, right? So so Bobby, ask me that same question in 6 weeks and I'll tell you a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm asking because I've done it for a year now, and I was basically kind of like, oh, I want it's an expensive project. We spend about $850 a month on it. You get some hands raising, but it hasn't equated into a deal yet for us. So it's kind of, there's ways to do it cheaper. I think controlling your own message with your own email audience. Like I haven't been a big email guy, but hearing some other success stories, from people who are doing really well with email, it's kind of making me kind of rethink, maybe diving in a little deeper on that. But anyways.
Well, the whole key to Fellow, the whole key is going back to what Cam said in the very beginning. AI is not going to make you money unless you actually pick up the phone and I say, hey, Deb, hey, Dave, how you been? I notice you're looking at lot 30 in the woods of Parley's Lane, whatever, right? The thing is they can get, the problem is their Fellow doesn't go, the guy's not going, hey, call me, right? You know what they're doing? They're kind of going like this, right? They're barely raising their hand. So we have to call and talk to these people, right?
Mhm.
And then there's a fellow challenge that's going on right now, 30-day listing challenge, that there's some unbelievably good information in it, and the speakers are beyond amazing. I had to make a decision if I was going to listen to be on this call, or I was going to be on Ben Kinney at Places call, because it's at the exact same time, but they're recording it, so that's why I'm here. But um, at the end of the day, AI, first of all, for some of us, Craig, Craig is smart. He's smarter than me because he can actually do some of it.
Yeah.
I have to, I mean, my son Drew, he about 15 years ago, he called me, he goes, I'm asking him how to do things. And he goes, Dad, you're techno-tarded, right?
Push the
And
button, everybody.
like,
You're not going to break it. That's the only way you learn how to do it, is push the
yeah,
button. You're not gonna break
but the
it.
whole thing is I am smart enough to hire, if you can't do this, I'm smart enough to hire people that do it. And we use it in every aspect, from the minor things when you want to type and talk into it, and you have an email, you use it for listing, um, the how you want to talk about a listing. And then there's so many things you can use it for, and our team uses it so much. So
Uh,
i
Let me
I
throw.
don't,
I want to
I'm
throw.
not the guy.
I want to throw some out that's not out there, that somebody actually has me beta testing with them, and in 3 weeks, it's really been crazy in learning this stuff. They have a system within AI, and they literally can go in and they type in these code words, and they don't tell me them, and it pulls up. Well, it's sell your home blank, sell a home, buy a home. That's simple. Sell a home, this address, this area, buy a home, this area. And it spits up everybody that has been out in the internet, whatever it might be, typing that into Google. It pulls their name down, it pulls their demographic down, it pulls their address down, it pulls their phone number down, it pulls down their net worth, it pulls everything. And I know this because the data of what we're just talking about there. And then we've done it 3 weeks in a row. And of it, and we zeroed it into a really tight area around my office. So we have 30 people, all right, in the first week. We now have 80 people in the second week. So we show that it went up, but some of them comparing, 8 of those people have hit every week. So that's showing a red light. We have an email on them. We have an address on them. You can go door knock on them. Some of them are do not call list and that other stuff. Question is if they can mine that and you can get that even before it goes to anybody, that's an interesting thing to me. There's some value to that. If you can pay an AI company 100 hours a week for, I don't know, 400 people within zip codes of your area, and then you go and data mine it, wherever it might be, that you can't get, is there a value there? But it's coming from their AI system. And it's an interesting thing. And it's a legit person in business, but they were they're beta playing it on me right now. And it's wild what this stuff can pull in. Absolutely crazy. And that's not even touched the iceberg. Let's go back to where not a lot of you guys were around when you had AOL as the first email. All right. And then you had AOL and you had this one. And everybody's like, well, how are the two going to talk? They're not the same company. All through the internet. This is the beginning part of this AI. So, all right. So Cameron's using it. What other questions? Where can I get that AI company information? Cameron has email information in there. Cliff was asking that. Dave, can you share where Dave, they were asking for the recording from today. Those are the guys from Brivity, right? Dave, are those guys from Brivity? Yeah.
Yeah, they're from Brivity.
Yeah.
They're gonna send it to me, so I'm not really sure, but let me see if I
you gotta be a member part of the group.
I'll try to do this next week after they send me the link to the recording. I'll see if I can get it to see people. Sorry.
We'll put it out then. All right, who wants to add anything to the AI right now? Gary, anybody interesting questions? Go ahead, Gary.
I'll add a couple of short points. So we also talked about AI and automation, and there's a couple things that I wanted to share with that. We talked about another AI tool. I think this was like maybe last week or the week before, but hey, I'm using HeyGen right now, and part of that is, or the reason how I'm using that rather, I did finally clone myself in my video or creating the videos. I was a little apprehensive about being able to have a video of myself out there that's wasn't really me talking, and it was a little weird seeing that happen. But the way that we're going to be using this video is really like more of an auto responder through video from like new leads, whether they mainly like email, hey, thanks for calling in, we'll be right with you, an automated text message with that response. So they get a little, what is it called? Putting the face with the name, when they're first calling in, if they're not able to reach somebody right away. And that's really on like a lot of the first emails that we've got. I'm also using that as some of the escrow videos that's going to be walking my clients through the escrows, right? So we can correct certain things of our system. So when we hit a certain milestone, like they remove a contingency or their home inspection is one day or whatever the case, I've recorded all these videos in the past, but they then start to become, I don't know, obsolete a little bit because we changed parts in our system. So instead of recreating all of those, we're going to put these videos in place. So then I'm giving some, just direction in what to expect at certain steps throughout the process to both buyers and sellers. So we're going to be using that video in that way as well. Another part of automation, we just switched from one system that was doing all of our tracking to open to close. That's also a transactional tool basically, but it has a lot of automation in it that's helping to walk and remind the clients about the process through the process, reminding them, basically all players within the transaction, escrow, title, the client, myself, etc. Just reminding everybody of certain milestones that are coming up. Hey, by the way, you've got a home inspection today. Here's what to expect. Here's what to bring. Make sure you're out of the house so you don't show up for a home inspection and your seller's still there. Things like that. So we're still playing around with all the automation through open to close. There's a lot of things that we found that we're putting to work, which has been great. One other thing that is new. Sorry. Oh, was that Bobby sneezing? Bless you, Bobby.
Yeah, it was Bobby.
I thought you were asking a question. The other thing, one of my clients, very innovative, smart guy, has started a company called Remark. And so what this is, the tool that this is bringing into the real estate community is that essentially they're offering like a comprehensive home profile, right? There's a couple different parts of the service or the package, but they'll have somebody come through, do like a 3D video, kind of like Matterport essentially, but they'll also go through and categorize everything in the home, from the type of flooring to the type of materials in the countertops, the kitchen, all of the like all the appliances, the serial numbers, when the manufacture dates were, etc. So what this tool is doing is we can offer that comprehensive, like what are we calling it here? Home profile, kind of like a set of medical records for the house when we're doing the listing to the buyers, right? In the sense of when they have a bunch of questions for the property, it's already detailed out. If they want to then go and get insurance, they can then send this package to the insurance company. It has the measurements of the whole property down to like what's the measurements and specs of the window, so they can start also doing I don't know, they're trying to get quotes for remodeling throughout the process of doing their inspections, etc. Instead of running out a whole bunch of contractors or inspectors, etc. That information is already available to send out to insurance companies or contractors to start getting those quotes. The buyer can then keep that package and use it, into the future. But again, they have a good starting point for being able to get insurance quickly through the process. Plus, we get a lot of questions answered. So Again, that package would be about $500, right around $500 for that comprehensive home service and the 3D video or 3D renderings and video. But again, we just started using it on our first listing, so I'll let you know how that goes, but I was pretty intrigued on that service. So those are a couple of things that, you know, in addition to everything that's Cam's talked about and everyone's brought up, that we're using right now, that's automation and AI.
How do they use do they use AI to do that?
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, when you do Matterport, you're able to get measurements, right? But their AI system like takes it down to the next level, so you can get accurate measurements for even up to the windows. The appliances, the tech that comes in actually has to find the serial numbers and categorize all the serial numbers. So it's kind of a process for them to do it. It's probably about an hour to two for them to come through and get everything, you know, categorized. But then when you're done, you have that whole package. I'll put it here in the chat.
Yeah, if you can put it in the chat, that'd be great. Here's a question for you, and this is something that's happened in our area. I know it's all over. We had a big, and I can call it because what it was, a big Chilean burglar crew across the country. I know was going because the guys they busted in my neighborhood, they busted in California 2 months before. But they got out and they drove across the country and decided to try to rob the East Coast instead of the West Coast. But here nor there, the question is, I have a lot of my clients, and especially the police, have asked me to, once the home sells, take those tours down. Take them out of your listings, take them out of take the Matterport down, just leave the primary listing. Because these things are so good, they're showing entry levels of how to get into houses. I mean, these people can literally, without scoping a house, scope a house of how to break in. So that's how good this stuff is getting. Has anybody else had that phone call? Is anybody else having that challenge? So yeah. So you guys are just leaving your stuff up. They're asked, like our guys have come to us and asked us to take it down. And a lot of my clients are now asking for privacy reasons. They don't want it up after they buy it. So just thought it was throwing it out there for a conversation. No? Okay.
Craig, in Park City a couple months ago, there was a bicycle stolen once.
Look, you can park a car, you can drive up to a valet and a guy will get in the car and drive it away, pretending he's the valet in Philly. There you go. There you go.
Hey
All right,
guys,
so-
but hey guys, can I plug in one thing?
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of House Whisper?
What's that?
Yes.
You have? Okay. So House Whisper AI is a new tool that you can attach to your CRM. It is brilliant. So basically what it does is it listens to your calls and then it summarizes the call and spits out like a summary of everything that you talked to with the client. So after you get off the phone with the client, you could do a copy and paste, send them an email and say, here you go, here's everything we talked about. Boom. Takes 2 seconds. Your team
But you
sees
got to call through your CRM?
you got to call through the CRM. And then what's also cool about it is it'll actually put like, so for example, let's say you and I were talking, Craig, and we scheduled a next appointment. Well, it's already in the phone. All I got to do is accept it. The phone's listening to our conversation, puts the appointment in there, all set, ready to go. So it basically does a bunch of tasks, reminders. It'll also, like if you go on an appointment, it'll call you and say, hey, how'd the appointment go? And you'll say, hey, it went great. So go ahead and put them as a new client, and then it will automatically change your CRM. So it's essentially an assistant to help you manage your CRM. So
You have
it's
to let a client know that that's on? I'm
You-
playing devil's advocate.
So I think it's actually a great tool and sets you apart. So for example, you go to someone and say, look, I'm so not worried about anything that all of our calls are recorded, and you're going to get a transcript after our call so that you can never say, I didn't say that, or you said this or said that. You know, who trusts real estate agents? Not very many people. So if I'm willing to have my calls recorded and a transcript given to them, basically, that should say something about my skill as an agent. So that's why I'm willing to do that, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. So it's all in how you premise it. Now, if they don't want the calls to be recorded and they don't want all of this, then of course you don't do it. But I think that if you frame it the right way and frame it as this is something that's a great system for them, you know, then I think it works. So anyways,
All right, great.
Well, in
Well,
follow-up,
it's an interesting program. We've been doing
Yeah.
it for a few months now.
yeah,
I know
the
I'm
new
there, Dave.
stuff
Thank
with Follow Up Boss, they do that as well, Craig. And if you add House Whisper to Follow Up Boss, I mean, it's unbelievable what you can do. And that's something that is new to us as well. But I love in Follow Up Boss that they have that same service. Now, it's not as good as the tagging on to House Whisper, but like yesterday, my ISA had two really good conversations, and it not only does it give you the notes, but it also gives you the recording. So then my ISA can send it over to the agent and say, "Hey, call Gary Massa. Or you know, here's the call I had with Gary." And then they call and he knows everything that was talked about. So this AI stuff and all of it is amazing. And we should do another one in 2 or 3 months. And I should bring my son Drew onto this, and because he's working on everything, and we'll just have the Drew and Cameron show, and all the old guys, we can just shut up and listen and learn.
I think in a
So,
couple months, you're gonna be surprised at what happens in a couple months. What's happened in 10 years in real estate had then happened in 5 is now gonna happen in 1. So, all right, we're at the 101 mark. Thank you, everybody, for being part of it. Love you all. Bring a friend next week. Let's go share it as Bobby goes. And Bobby, I did not mention that thing that he always mentions because I love it. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
See
Love
you.
you guys.
Be well.
Let's go.